Welcome to the scorching arena of valor and the crucible of courage. This is the Forged in the Fires podcast with Fireman Rob. Here, in the inferno of life's greatest challenges, heroes are shaped and legends are born. Every episode is a torchlight of wisdom, casting a glow on the paths walked by those who've braved the flames and emerged stronger. In this furnace of fortitude, we'll explore tales of resilience, bravery, and the unyielding human spirit. Each guest brings their own spark of insight, lighting up the darkness and guiding us through the smoke of adversity. With Fireman Rob at the helm, prepared to delve into conversations that smolder with significance and stories that kindle the soul. It's not just a podcast, it's a beacon for all who seek to rise from the ashes and glow with purpose. So stoke the fires of your curiosity and ready your heart for tales of triumph and transformation. The flames are roaring. The stage is ablaze. Welcome to the Forged in the Fires podcast. Let the journey begin.
All right, welcome back to Forged in the Fires podcast. I'm your host, Fireman Rob. Today I have somebody, he's not just good at two things. He's not good at three things. He is a four-man orchestra. I guess that's what you could put it. He's an author. He's a producer. He's an actor. He's an artist. His name is Edward Miskie. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me. Hi.
Yeah, this is awesome. You got to go to edwardmiskie.com and you got to see this amazing man who's sitting here. Talk to me more about being an author. I want to go to each of the categories, but I want to talk about you being an author because the book that you have, Cancer, Musical Theater, and Other Chronic Illnesses, it's at Barnes & Noble. Talk to me more about that book that you wrote.
Sure. I mean, being an author, that is not something I ever set out to be. I always liked writing as a kid. You know, the creative writing classes and you know, screwing around with writing little short stories here and there was always something I enjoyed doing. But once I got out of school, it was like, I don't need to write anymore. And it's not that I didn't enjoy it anymore. It's just not something that it really occurred to me to do. Yeah. And so when all of like the cancer stuff happened and whatever, and I kind of always knew I wanted to turn that experience into something, and there was no clarity on what it was going to be. And people kept being like, you should do a one-man show. And I'm like, ugh, if I have to go to one more of those, I absolutely lose it. I hate them. They're never good.
You'd have no more friends, right?
No more. Right. They'll buy a ticket. And that's the last time I see any of them.
Exactly.
But it just kind of like it honestly just hit me. There was no plan. I had met someone who was more recently cancer free than I was at that point. At that point, I was about 3 years out, and he was about 3 months. And we were just kind of talking about it, and he expressed his frustration and kind of lack of direction or sense of just the disorienting experience of being newly cancer-free. And I was like, wait a minute, that's exactly how I felt when I was first out and how I still feel 3 years later. Like, can we please talk about this? And so he and I had this really long conversation about all the different things that were like friends and family and dating and sex and jobs and careers and day-to-day crap. And I was like, oh my God, this cannot be just the two of us. And like, I'm going to write about this. I want to write about this. Yeah. And at that point, it wasn't like, I'm going to write a book about this. I just knew that I was going to write about that. And as I kind of reached out to other people in my life that I knew who had cancer and asked them very similar questions, like, is this how you felt? Is this what it was like? How was it after the fact? Like, did you feel this way? And all of them said the exact same thing. And I was like, okay, there are no resources for this.
Right.
I am not the only one. I'm going to write about this. And so at the time, I had a desk job that required very little of me. And so I sat at this desk 5 days a week, 40 hours.
I love that.
And
let's not mention what it was.
Oh, they went out of business now, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, good. Was it because you weren't doing your work?
No.
I'm just asking.
It's actually because I was doing my work.
That's what it was.
But LOL, can't talk about it. So the book kind of came from that, and it just turned into a book. Like, I just started writing. I did a big brain dump. And eventually, after I like cut out some parts that was like, no one cares about this. This isn't what the book is about. Doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I just was like, I think I have a book here. I think this like 90,000 word document that I have now is a book. And so I formatted it just so. I divided it into Act 1 and Act 2. And that's kind of how that came about. But there was never a plan that was like, I want to be an author. It was just what happened. It was
I have this shitty job and I'm going to be an author.
Yeah. I was like, well, I got to do something with all this downtime. So I'll write.
Oh, that's so awesome. I mean, your cancer battle, to be able to put into words, how it felt like. You tell me more about that, because I loved how you didn't just go to one person. You went to a lot of people and they all felt the same way. What was that deep feeling that you had?
I guess, to put it plainly, it's that once you are let go of being a patient and you're told that you're cancer free and you're good to go, that's the hard part. Like, it is harder to survive cancer than to actually be treated for it. And like, and to contextualize that a little bit better, it's that when you're being treated for it, there's a plan, there's a team, there's people telling you where to go, and you're basically like tossed around like a little rag doll of like, at 3:00 at this time you have radiation, and then you have this follow-up appointment the next day with it. And so you're just following this schedule that they give you, and all you have to do is show up. And then once they're like, congratulations, you don't have cancer anymore, you get to have your life back, you very quickly learn that you are not getting your life back, and you have to start over, and you're on your own, and there's not a whole lot of guidance. And how could there be? I mean, everyone's different. Everyone's wants and backgrounds and trajectories are different. So having resources for something like this, I think, is kind of a fool's errand. It would be a waste of money and resources, because like, there's no right answer for any one person. And one of the things that I wanted to get across in this book is that experience of like, once you're out, like, that's the scary part. That's when all the crazy shit happens. And you have to very definitively plant your feet on the ground and be like, okay, I have to make a decision of who I want to be, what the life I want to have moving forward is going to look like. And that starts now. And I, that's so easy for me to say now in hindsight, now that we're like 11 years cancer free. But like, in the moment, it's so scary because you're like, I don't know. And it's the friends that I love are pissing me off because what they're talking about is fucking stupid. Or like, I don't want to go to work today because this job means fucking nothing. And it's just this frustration of the realization that like nothing in life really matters.
Wow.
And then having to, and it's so brutal, and it's so, and like, I can say that to anyone and they're just gonna be like, oh, you're being nihilistic. It's like, no, I experienced this firsthand. Nothing in life matters. Like, I went a good, 2 years without paying a single bill because I wasn't able to work because I was dying. And you know what happened? Crazy. Nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't pay a single bill, and I am here to talk about it 11 years later. Like, I think we all get so lost in the sauce about what really needs to happen in our lives, and bad things are going to happen if we don't fall in line and we don't behave and we don't go by what the system tells us to do. Right. And I am here to tell you firsthand, like, nothing's going to happen. Like, no one is thinking about you the way that you think that you're thinking, the way that you think they're thinking about you.
That's so true. That's so true.
As made evident, I was in the theater community, which is very tight and everyone knows everyone else. And if you've spent more than 10 minutes in the theater scene in New York City, like, everyone already. And, I disappeared for a year. I didn't want to be on social media about my cancer diagnosis. I didn't want to be posting pictures of me being sick. And that's the last thing I wanted. And I went into hiding basically until I looked reasonable enough to be seen in public again.
That's crazy.
And once I did, I ran into someone who I hadn't seen during that whole period of time.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I had cancer this last year. It wasn't really great." And they were like, "Oh, how long was that?" And I was like, "About a year." And they're like, "Oh."
Like it was a sabbatical or something.
Well, it wasn't. It was like, "Oh, like I didn't even notice you were gone."
That's crazy.
Cool. So it's kind of like this really dark kind of realization, but at the same time, it's like this beautiful realization because if nothing matters,
freeing.
Then you can do whatever you want.
Right,
And
it's free.
within reason. Don't go like kill anybody or anything, but it's very much like if you miss a credit card payment, no one's going to come and kill you. Like if you decide to change careers, like literally fine, great, go do it.
Someone will come right behind you.
Like literally there's no right answer. No one knows what they're doing, and you get to make it up. And I think that's so much better than being like, oh my God, I'm fucking everything up because I had this thing happen to me and the life in front of me is terrible because I don't know what I'm doing and it's so scary and I feel this way and that's not good. And no, all of that is great. All of it is fine. Figure it out. You'll figure it out. It's fine. There's no right answer.
That's I love that perspective because it really is a freeing feeling to go, I am in control of my life. Right?
Yeah. I mean, as much as that perception is taken away from us because of, the structures in which we live, which includes, paying a mortgage or rent or credit card bills or whatever bills. And certainly some of those have more, I guess, immediate consequences. Like if you don't pay your electric bill, they'll turn the electricity off. But right. I went 5 months without paying an electric bill, and you know what they didn't do? Turn my lights off. So it's kind of like the threat of what might happen to you is also kind of very thin.
It really debilitates a lot of people, doesn't it?
It really does, and myself included. I'm not saying that I'm immune to this by any stretch, but I've gone very long periods of time without having work and not being able to pay what I needed to pay. And it's just kind of like, well, I don't know what to tell you. It'll happen, but today is not the day. And, the result of that is just kind of like, it really is kind of relaxing and cathartic in a sense. 'Cause you're like, nothing matters. Yeah. It's great.
I want to go on to the Mr. Producer side of you. Now, you got that Tom Selleck kind of like Magnum PI look on this one.
It's my Miami Vice. I love that.
It's a Miami Vice. That's what it was. But you gotta have the jacket though.
No, I know. I just don't have one. No, that's my friend Ryan Hunt. He does all of my professional shots. He's brilliant. I love him. I won't let anyone else shoot me.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome.
He's
now,
the best.
talk to me about the Sickening, because that looks it's a dark humor, but at the same time, tell me more about the premise behind this production that you made.
So it's not made yet. That is going to be the TV adaptation of my book. It's a musical version of my book that is going to be an episodic made for TV. We are kind of in the process of we are in the process of kind of figuring out where that's going to live and how, who, what, where, why. Obviously it's a long process. It's very difficult and it's an uphill climb, but I'm so excited about it. The team I'm working with is really excited about it. And it has been a pleasure to put it together thus far.
Oh, that's awesome. What does it feel like to be a producer? What does it feel like to put, in essence, create something out of nothing and make it into something where people are getting entertainment out of it, they're getting education, they're getting all these things out of it, but it came from your mind?
I mean, I don't know if that's always the producer role, you end up as someone who's a creator and makes things like that, you end up playing producer because you want to get it made. And so once you make it, a lot of people make things and then they don't know where to go because they don't have someone who can take on the roller producer, or they don't know how to take on the roller producer themselves. And that's something that I had to learn. If you scroll down farther on that page, that's something I had to learn if I wanted to get any of the things that I've created off the ground. And so the producer part of it is fucking hard, and it's not really all that rewarding until it's done. Because
I can understand that.
It's spreadsheets and logistics and playing Tetris with time and money and everything else. And, it's very difficult. And depending on the scale of the project, which, Sickening is going to be quite the budget, depending on that scale, it's very difficult. It's supremely difficult. But in the end, especially with this project, I mean, of course, it being so close to my heart and being affiliated and based off of the book, it's exciting. There's a lot of excitement to it, but it is incredibly hard work and very, very difficult logistical, nightmare heavy work.
And that's why you have the Miami Vice look. I see.
Right.
Now I understand.
It's like, I got this.
I got this. If they can play a 3-minute just video of a tire going round and round, I can do this. Exactly. Well, I mean, so what does it look like in your future? Like you're wanting to get this message out there. You're wanting to deliver it through, in essence, an artistic way. What does that future look like to you, to be able to impact those people?
I've always had a really hard time answering questions like this because ever since I was a kid, there's so many things that I like and that I like doing and I want to do and that I'm good at. And I'm a quick study. So that list gets longer all the time. And, much to my detriment a lot of the times. But to me, within the last year or two, it's really the only way that I've really been able to articulate this is that I want to be Seth MacFarlane. What he does and the body of work he has created, not just for himself, but in general. He is a writer, he is a voiceover actor, he is a producer, he is an actor. He stars in a lot of the things that he creates. And that's not necessarily something that I need, but looking at him, he's one of the people that I can look at and be like, that's what I want. That's the future I want. And being just an actor to me is not enough. And so he's one of the people I can look to and be like, yep, that's exactly it.
That's awesome. I love that. Well, and then from what you're telling me and from what you're putting together, I love that. I can see that happening for you. I mean,
your mouth to God's ears, because Lord Almighty, it is.
It's a struggle though.
It's an uphill climb.
but you have climbed some mountains. You have in essence staked your claim on those mountains. This is just another one to climb, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the biggest one of them all.
And it's got a false flat.
It has,
and you got to go up another one.
There's false flats everywhere. Just when you think you're there, it's like, nope, no.
Make sure you go to edwardmiskie.com and you can find out more about all of the things that he's doing. Edward, it's been such a pleasure having you on. I always end with the same way, with 3 questions. Are you ready for those 3 questions?
I am as ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, perfect. Well, the first question is, if you could go back to your 18-year-old self and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that be?
Oh God. 18-year-old me was such a dick. So I could say whatever I wanted to him and he's not going to listen.
That is a perfect answer.
but I think really what the real answer is kind of what we were talking about before, is that no one knows what they're doing. No one is more worthy than anyone else. It's just a matter of who does the work to get there.
I love that. That's perfect.
And I think if I would have known that a little bit more definitively at 18, things would be different.
Completely different. Well, you never know. Yeah.
I mean, we hold ourselves back. We tend to hold ourselves back because we second guess ourselves or we don't believe in ourselves. And I think knowing that no one knows what they're doing and nothing matters is one of those things. Like, great. Well, if those 2 things are true, then I can do anything.
Yeah. See, I like that. All right. This next one's kind of similar. Everybody has challenges and struggles in their life. if you could give them 2 habits to incorporate into their daily life to continue to move forward, to continue to live their life, not everybody else's, what would those 2 habits be?
Get in the habit of telling yourself to just do it.
Yeah.
And stay as focused and as as focused and straightforward moving as you possibly can on the thing that you want. Because anything else that you want that is outside of that is a distraction and will also rise with the all ships rising kind of thing when you get to where you want to go.
Nice. All right, this last one's going to be fun because I legitimately have no idea who you're going to select. Usually I can have an idea. So if you could have coffee with 3 individuals at a firehouse table, so in other words, you can ask any question, it's going to be answered. That you got all the time in the world with the coffee. If it could be 3 individuals, they can be deceased or alive, who are these 3 going to be?
Okay. This is a little obscure, but here we are. I'm my first.
Did I expect anything else?
I'm not really sure. But my first is Julie Daubigny. I believe is how you say her last name. She was a French woman. She was an opera singer and a swordsman and a lesbian, and went around Europe and
seriously
slaughtered everyone who challenged her to a duel. She was such a badass. I highly encourage anyone to look her up. She's insane. And
my gosh.
she was such a problem that her parents sent her to a nunnery, and then she ended up falling in love with a woman who was there. And to break her out, she burnt the convent down, and they ran across Europe and did it's crazy. Her life story is insane. So I'd want
that's like Bonnie and Bonnie.
Kind of, yeah. I would very Thelma and Louise actually, but I would want to sit down with her and just be like, tell me everything.
But here's the ultimate question. Would you allow her to bring the sword?
100%. I would take that risk.
You better be quick.
Yeah, I'm not, but it'll be worth it. Okay. And then the next
who's number 2?
Number two.
I can't wait for this one.
Number 2, hang on a second. I need to double check that I'm getting her name right.
Hopefully it's not another person with a weapon.
Oh, no. Okay. Madam C.J. Walker.
Okay.
She was a Black entrepreneur in the early part of, at the turn of the century, Gilded Age onward. She was the first female Black self-millionaire in America.
Really?
Yeah, from late 1800s, early 1900s. And I just want to sit down and hear about the absolute audacity that she had to make the life she wanted, because audacity is so important. And just the balls that she would have had to build that during that period of time. I just want to be in that presence. I think that's incredible.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You got a good table. Who's rounding the note?
I've already said him, Seth MacFarlane. I want to sit down with his ass, and I just want to learn everything I possibly can with him.
Man, that's a good table.
I met him very briefly at the Fox Up Fronts in Central Park one year, very briefly, and I just was like, but wait, come back.
I have one more question. One more.
Go.
That's awesome, man. No, I was saying you should have yelled that at Seth.
Oh, I mean, he was with a whole group of people, and
oh man,
wouldn't have gone over well.
Hey, Edward, it's been such an honor and so much fun to talk with you today. Make sure you go to edwardmiskie.com. You can find out more, and definitely best of luck with you.
Thank you so much. You too.
Thanks for listening and supporting the Forged in the Fires podcast with Fireman Rob. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. And please share this episode with a friend or family member. To find out more about Fireman Rob, or if you have a question, go to www.firemanrob.com. Until next time, live your life forged in the fires.